Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, August 20, and today we're going to be going over how to pay off credit cards fast. Well, you could also do it fast and easy. They just kind of linger on. On Friday's show, though, you do want to catch Friday's show, everybody, because we talked about the Biden's student loan repayment program, which actually it's a repayment program, but it really turns into a forgiveness program. So you definitely want to watch that. If we have enough time at the end of this show, which is on credit cards, we will recap some of that information as well for you, so that if you have a student loan, you want to get on the SAVE program now, because it starts in earnest in October. So get on it now. You may even qualify for a zero payment. Oh my goodness. So anybody want to talk about credit cards this morning? Put it in the chat. Say good morning. Hi, Deborah. How are you? I see you in here with your pink on. So good morning to everybody. Let me put that in here. Good morning to everyone. There we go. Put a little sunshine on it. Oh, give you another sunshine. There we go. Good morning, Coach Fee. Good morning to you, Priscilla. Deborah, good morning to you. All right. Who else wants to say? And tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from, so that when we get started here, we're going to put some things on the screen that you never thought of before. Get your pencil, your pen, and your paper ready so that you can start taking some notes. And please, I'll try to keep it simple, but ask questions, come to the stage and talk to us. All right. Listen, let me tell you something about how all of these loans work, including credit cards. Please, 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 please. Don't feel bad because you don't know this. It wasn't because you weren't paying attention somewhere. You mean maybe there was a class offered. Maybe you were actually in the class and you didn't pay attention. No. What I'm getting ready to share with you is not taught in classes anywhere. Okay? So, and on Wednesday, when we come back on Wednesday, if you have a high interest rate loan on a car, don't even worry about it anymore. We're going to show you how to take care of that too. And you don't even have to refinance it. What? I've told people who've gotten 9%, 10%, 15%, 17%, 20% interest on their car because they had some credit challenges. Let me show you on Wednesday how you can take care of that as well. 20% credit, 20% interest on a car? Oh my gosh. People are saying, is that crazy? Yeah, it is. But there's something you can do about it without having to refinance. You're going to want to learn how all of this works. So today, folks, anybody who wants to come to the stage, let's get them up here. I see Bam wants to come to the stage. And we got Bam. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I am great and grateful, and always enjoy listening to your genius. I'm done speaking. Bam.
All right. Thank you, Bam. And we've got, let's see, Mahad. All right, let's invite Mahad up to speak. Invite to speak. There we go. And anybody else that wants to come to the stage, listen, you don't even have to talk. You could just come and sit on the stage and be ready. Like Brenda, I'm going to invite Brenda up to get on the stage, Brenda. All right, because I know her. She knows me. Brenda, you don't even have to talk, but just being here is good enough. All right. Very good. Come on up to the stage, folks, because when you come to the stage, guess what happens? People who when you get on this stage, your people who follow you get notified, and they're going to say, well, what are they doing? All right. So come on up. We're going to invite Miss up to speak. And so listen, get on the stage. Let's start asking these questions about credit cards this morning, and we're going to jump right in. Who else is raising their hand? All right. And let me see here. Coach Fee. Oh my goodness. Come on up. Invite to speak. All right. And Bam, listen, man. Listen, you know I'm watching 4 screens here. So if you don't mind, if you see somebody who wants to come
I
up,
got you, Coach.
we bring them up?
I got you.
Thank you,
As well
sir.
as I watch the chat for you, as you know, also.
I
I'm done speaking.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, everybody. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got some. I want to say good morning to all of our people online as well. If you are watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, good morning to you as well. So, I'm going to put a good morning in here to you. Good morning. All right. Boom. All right. So let's start out. If you have a question this morning, flash your mic for me. Just turn it on and off if you have a question for me. Or if you just want to be on the stage. All right. So, Bam, I see you're flashing. Do you have a question for me this morning? Go ahead, sir.
Yes. What is the foundation and the source of the data and the brilliance that you share in these clubhouse streets? How did you get this knowledge? I'm done speaking. Bam.
All right, Bam. All right. All right. Listen, folks. I think Bam is getting to the point where did I go to college for any of this? No, I did not. Is it being taught anywhere else? Did I get it from the internet somewhere? Or did I read it in a book somewhere? No, I did not. When I look at an amortization schedule, because I'm on the autism spectrum, the way my autism presents itself is I see things in pictures and patterns. So when I'm looking at an amortization schedule, I see how I listen, I'm not really good at numbers. Okay. But I see the pattern and how much interest is being charged if we follow their pattern. And when you know patterns, then you can kind of, I'm good at puzzles and stuff like that. So when I see the pattern going this way, I said, well, shoot, if we just reverse the pattern, we don't have to pay all that money. We don't need more money. We just need to pay less interest. And the way this thing has been constructed, ladies and gentlemen, is that you pay a ton of interest when you don't know how it works. So I have to give all the credit to the God who made me and my brain. Okay. I struggled in school, but I'm not struggling now. I'm sharing it with you today. And so, Bam, thank you very much for that question. Anybody else, if you have a question, go ahead and flash your mic right now and we will ask. But if you want to just sit on the stage, that is totally okay. And anybody else that wants to come up and just sit on the stage, that's totally okay. But if you want to ask a question, we're going to get to your questions as well. First thing we want to show on how to pay off credit cards faster, you need to understand the basics. So I'm going to put something on the screen with my listen, man. I should. He's our engineer. I should call him a co-host, okay? Because sometimes he jumps in there. Kurt Nugent is running things in the background, making sure that you can see everything. So Kurt, we're going to show this screen right now, and we're putting it up. I need you to understand the word fungible. Fungible. In terms of finances, fungible means interchangeable. And we have to get out of the idea that credit cards are evil. Credit cards just need to be understood and used correctly. All right. We have not been taught how to use them. But I will tell you this. My debit card does not ever see the light of day. It's an emergency card. My credit cards are my everyday cards. I don't even carry cash. Okay? I don't even carry cash. I use credit cards exclusively, never debit cards. If I use a debit card, you better believe it's an emergency situation. It's a place where they don't take credit cards. Okay? So that's very rare these days. And there's a reason for that. Okay? Don't let people tell you otherwise. Now, I will tell you this. In all honesty, keep this in mind. Credit cards are for people who have resources. They're not for people who don't have resources. If you don't have a way to pay it back, don't use it. If you don't have a way to pay that credit card back, don't use it. Credit cards are for building up yourself, not tearing yourself down. So I just want to make sure we understand that. But I need you to understand this idea of fungibility. All right. Now, listen, replaceable by another identical item, mutually interchangeable, mutually interchangeable. So, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to need some help here. I hope I can get some help. I have $10,000 in the bank. I also have a $5,000 balance on my Visa. Okay. I owe Visa 5,000, but I have 10,000 in my savings account. All right. You got me so far? What if I decide I'm looking at my bank account, I'm making 1/10 of 1%. 1/10 of 1%. But on my Visa, I'm paying 15% on that annually. I got money in the bank that's making 1/10 of 1%, but I owe Visa $5,000 and I'm paying them annually 15%. So what if I took $5,000 out of the bank and paid off the Visa? All right. $10,000 in the bank. I owe $5,000 to Visa. What if I took $5,000 out of the bank and paid off the Visa to zero? How much money do I have available to spend? You can talk to me, tell me your answer, or write it in the chat. Okay. All right. All right. The clock is ticking. How much money do I have available to spend now? All right. Let me look and see if I've got some answers. Keisha says 10,000. Markeisha says 10,000. Unruly says 10,000. Bam says 5,000. All right. And Miss Priscilla says you still have 10K. You better believe it. The answer is you still have 10K to spend. There you go. Because the fungibility factor. Okay. Because of the fungibility factor. Now, why is this a good thing? It's a good thing because if I have money in my bank account that's making me 1/10 of 1%, but I'm bleeding over here at 15% annually, well, that's not good. I could take that money, put it over here, and listen, as soon as I do that, if you know how much interest you're paying each month on the credit card, guess what? You get an instant raise because now you don't have to pay that. A penny saved is a penny earned. A penny saved is a penny earned. Now, we have to understand fungibility to understand what I'm talking about today. You need to take a look at what does it mean to me long term if I make a financial decision. So, how do we pay off credit cards fast and easy, understanding fungibility? Oh my goodness. All right. So first of all, I'm going to put an amortization schedule on the on here. I'm going to put $5,000. Oh, no. A total of $10,000 I owe on a credit card. And when you're using Brett Whistle, all right, brettwhissel.net, BRETWHISSEL. Somebody put that in the chat for me. brettwhissel.net, BRETWHISSEL.net. All right. When I use this, this is my teaching tool. This is not my program. It's just a teaching tool. All right. I'm going to show you what my program looks like. My program looks like this. This is my program. Okay. We'll get into that a little later, but I use this as a teaching tool. This one here. So 10,000. Thank you, Keisha. Appreciate you. All right. So we're going to put this in here at somebody give me an interest rate. What interest rate do you want me to put this $10,000 at? From the chat or from online. All right, Darlene says 15%. Darlene, you're the first one in, so we're going to put it in here because you said so. I got 15%. Now, when you're putting in for a credit card, all credit cards are amortized over 240 months. So you have to change this number of payments to 240 to understand what's really going on with these cards. So I got that. I'm going to show the amortization. And first of all, we're going to find out that the payment on this is $131.68. Okay. But all credit card companies do this. They take a regular amortization schedule just like this, and then they add to the payment a percentage of what you owe. And it's not consistent across the industry. It's not consistent across. So Visa may add a certain percentage to your credit card. From Chase, Visa may do it differently than Wells Fargo Visa does it. So I got an amortization schedule. Now look at this payment. If we did straight amortization, only $6.68 would go to principal and $125 would go to interest. Okay. If we did straight amortization, but they don't do just straight amortization. They do amortization plus they add a certain percentage of what you owe to the minimum payment here, which makes up your actual minimum payment. But I can't tell you what your bank is doing because it's not a standard number. So this is why I dislike anybody who is, let's say, like Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman or any financial guru out there that gives everybody the same advice about all of their credit cards when they're all different. How do you give somebody advice, one piece of advice for everybody, when everybody's not using the same credit card? It's crazy. So you want to do something that means something to you. This is what's great about the P.I.L.L method. When you work with us, you get individualized attention. We don't put you in a box. You get coaching, you get customer service, and we're going to find out what you need and what you're looking for so that we can offer that to you. So watch this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got this. I'm just looking at how the credit card is structured. Now, the rules for credit cards is different for the rules of a mortgage. The amortization schedule is the same, but the rules are different for credit cards when they're charging you the interest. So when you're charging on interest on credit cards, they charge you the average daily balance. You want to write that down. The average daily balance. Okay. So whatever your balance is, that's your average daily balance. That's what you're going to get charged interest on. So let me ask you this. I got $10,000 on my credit card. Now, how many of you pay your bills? Okay. Pay your bills with a check. All right. All right. Put a number 7 in the chat if you pay your bills by check. You know, you actually mail in a check. Not too many people do that anymore. But if you do, put a number 7 in the chat. Okay. If you pay your bills with online, somehow you're paying it online. All right. Either you contact the vendor and then they draft your checking account, or you set it up with your bank to send a check to your vendor, like Verizon or for your water bill or whatever. Okay. So if you're doing it electronically, put a number 8 in the chat. If you write a check, put a 7. If you're doing it electronically, put an 8. Okay. There we go. Here come the 8s. Here come the 8s. Okay. This is how most people do it. This is how most people do it. I get it. All right. I don't see any 7s. I don't see any 7s. I just see 8s. Okay. So that's good. So, but this will work either way. Okay. Now, the reason why We deal with this because on $10,000, okay, my average daily balance, if I allow it to stay $10,000, because of that, I'm going to get charged $125 in interest. Okay. And the rest of the payment will go to principal. Okay. If I let the daily balance continue to be $10,000 for the entire month, and I could make my minimum payment or whatever, all right, and then we could take off. Now, here's my question, and I need so you can understand where we're going with this. Is it possible? Listen to me closely. Is it possible to pay off your credit card faster with just the minimum payment? Yes or no? I want to pay off my card faster, but all I have is the minimum payment. Can I pay it off faster with just the minimum payment? Okay, I see some no's. Keisha says yes because she knows she's all right. I'm seeing a bunch of no's. All right, a bunch of no's. A bunch. Oh my goodness. Bam says heck no. Dawn Well says it sounds like a trick question. Yeah, it kind of, and Eric Toombs is saying, I'm thinking yes, if you pay it strategically. All right. Listen, folks, I want to explain to you interest cancellation. If you understand interest cancellation, you definitely can pay off your credit card faster with just the minimum payment, but you have to understand fungibility to do it. All right. So now, remember I asked before about all of you who are paying your bills electronically. Okay. So do you realize that most of the companies that take your electronic check, however you do it electronically, will also take your credit card for payment? Did you know that? Yeah. So what we need to do is find out which ones they are. Now, here's what I need you to see. Remember, if I keep my $10,000 balance all month long, I am going to pay the interest on that $10,000. Now, let's just say whether I'm renting or I'm paying I pay a mortgage. Okay, let's just say other than my rent, other than my mortgage, how much? Give me a number. How much am I paying in bills every month? Just the bills, excluding rent, excluding the mortgage. Give me a number. Whether it's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Give me a number, somebody. Somebody give me a number. All right. How much am I paying in bills? All right. Other than rent, other than my mortgage. So the other bills. All right. Can somebody give me a number? All right. Keisha says $2,000. I'm paying $2,000 in other bills. Erica is so put in 3,000. Okay. Let's do halfway. Okay. We got $2,500 in bills. All right. Now, when you get paid, where does your money go? It goes generally into your checking account. That's where it's direct deposited generally, correct? Into your checking account. What if out of the money you get paid every month and those bills that, let's say $2,500 of those bills will also take your credit card? What would happen if I took $2,500 out of my checking account and I put it on my credit card? So I have $10,000 here, okay? And I'm going to subtract $2,500 because I'm going to take my bill money and put it on the credit card. Uh-oh, wait a minute, Don. What are you saying? What are you saying? How do I pay the rest of my bills? Folks, remember fungibility. Okay, remember fungibility. We're going to go back there. Fungible means replaceable or by identical item, mutually interchangeable. How about that? Okay, I got $10,000 on the card. I just took $2,500 of my bill money and put it on my card. How do I pay my bills? Somebody talk to me or put it in the chat.
Credit card.
Who said that?
Miss Jackson.
Come on, Miss Jackson. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Listen, I'm having a good time this morning because I just love this subject. So I can pay my bills with the credit card. Now, remember, you're being charged interest on the average daily balance. So I really do owe Visa $10,000. Okay. But when I put my $2,500 on there, they can't charge me interest on $10,000 anymore, can they, Miss Jackson?
That's correct.
They can only charge me interest on $7,500. So as I pay my bills throughout the month, my balance is going to change. It's going to increase. It's going to increase. So let me ask you this, everybody. If my minimum payment, let's say my minimum payment on this thing is actually $200 a month, right? It's $200 a month. So that means if my interest is $125, that means only $75 would go to principal. Only $75 would go to principal, while $125 would go to interest. But I'm not going to let them charge me on $10,000. They'll start out charging me on $7,500, and then I pay a bill that's worth $100. Now I owe $7,800, and I keep paying my bills, ladies and gentlemen, until I get it back up to $10,000. Let me ask you, have I just changed my average daily balance by putting that $2,500 on my credit card? Did I just change my average daily balance? Yes or no?
Yes.
And Erica says yes. Keisha says yes. Darlene says yes. Okay. All right. So I changed my average daily balance. So if I change my average daily balance, is there any way on God's green earth they can charge me $125 in interest this month? Yes or no? Anybody? Can they charge me $125 interest?
No.
Listen, do I have any more money? This is, Keisha says, nope. Miss Priscilla says, brilliant. Bam says, heck no. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a true understanding of interest cancellation when you only have a certain amount of money. My goodness. So, if I can keep doing that, will I pay off my credit card faster? So now if my minimum payment is $200 and that's already in my budget, the $200 is already in my budget to pay minimum. I just lowered the amount of interest that I paid. So will more of my money, more of my already $200, which is my minimum payment, will more of my money go to principal? Yes or no? Yes or no? Will more of my money go to principal because I lowered my interest cost? Whoo, goodness. Here it comes. Here it comes, everybody. Miss Olga Brooks says, what if you pay minimum, but in the beginning of the month, not the end? Would that make the difference? Well, yes and no. You know, I promise not to get too technical on this. I'm just giving kind of a broad overview, Olga, but it does matter. You have a payment date and you have a statement date. Okay. So it does matter when you do make that payment. You can save some additional, but remember, your interest cost is an average daily balance. So more importantly, when you more than you pay. It's more important, how can you structure this so that when you put your $2,500 on this card, structure your bill payment so you can keep as much of that money on the card for as long as you can. Does that make sense? Because if I put that $2,500 on one day and I pay all of my bills the next day, okay, my average daily balance is still is right at $10,000 still, okay? But if I put that $2,500 on and I tell my vendors, I'm going to pay you here, okay? I'm going to pay you several days later than when I put my money on there, okay? So my money stays on the credit card longer, lowering my average daily balance. Whoo, how do you like those apples? Okay. So now I've got $200 going to that. Okay. But next month, okay, watch this now. Next month, because my interest cost was lower, more of my $200 went to principal. Now I can't show that number because that would complicate the issue. Besides, each credit card company does it a little bit different. But just know you're going to owe less money than if you hadn't done anything at all, because only $75 would have gone to principal if you did nothing. More than $75 just went to principal because you lowered your average daily balance. Okay, now I've got more money went to principal. Now, guess what? Because I paid down the card a little bit faster than normal, my next month's minimum payment is actually going to be lower, right? Next month's payment is actually going to be lower. But what I need you to do to keep this working is keep making the $200 payment, because that's in your budget. Don't lower the payment. Keep it at $200. It's already in your budget. So as you do it next month, you don't owe $10,000 anymore. You have the regular amount going to principal, the 75 plus a little bit extra. Okay, let's call it $25. So now you had $100 go. So now you start out with when you figure out the interest and everything, you start out with a lower balance. So what do you do again? Next month, you put your $2,500 on again, stretch that baby out, tell her I'm gonna keep that $2,500 on as long as I can, okay, and continue to pay my bills with the credit card and set it up where it's automatic payments. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. If you're working with your bank to pay bills, I don't do that anymore. Okay. Because if your bank is late sending the check out or it gets lost in the mail, you're going to get hit with a late fee. So I don't do that. What I do is I call up Verizon, I call up whoever it is, and I said, listen, I want you to draft my credit card. And if you're late, it's on you, not on me. And guess what? Verizon has never forgotten to get their money. Not even once. Not even once have they forgotten to get their money. And it's so easy. So I set it up on auto pay. And so if I do it this way, I put my income on my credit card. This is where I store it. Now I need you to think storage right now, because even storage is fungible. Storage, I can put it in my checking account, which pays no interest. All right, which pays absolutely no interest. I can put that money on my credit card, which actually charges me interest, but they're going to charge me a lot less now. I'm storing the money in two places. One place does nothing for me. I set up a checking account. And do you know why banks love it when you use their checking account? I'm listening. I'm waiting for the answer. Why do banks love it when you use their checking account? Why is that, everybody? Talk to me or put it in the chat. Why do banks love it when you use their checking account?
I think because now they have more money to play with is my answer. Bam.
Well, listen, Bam, you're exactly right. Okay, they have more money to play with, and when you say play, Bam, that's actually a play on words, because they actually take the money that you give them and they turn it into play money. What do you mean, Don? Play money. They can lend out for every dollar you give them. For every dollar they have on deposit, they can lend out 10. If you put $10 on deposit, that means they can lend out 100. Do you see where I'm going with this? If we did that, it would be called, there's a name for that. If we make up money like that, there's a name for it. But the bank, it's legal for banks to do it. It's called, it's called, oh man, I had the term on the tip of my tongue. Does anybody know the term? How banks can take a dollar and turn it into 10? Fractional reserve lending. Fractional reserve lending. That's why they love it when you put their money in a checking account, and it pays no interest. So when you put your money in the checking account just to pay bills, we're just so used to it. We don't know that we're hurting ourselves financially by putting money in something that doesn't make money. Okay. Ruben Loing says arbitrage. You got that right, my brother. All right. So listen, he's watching us on YouTube right now. Instead of putting it someplace where it doesn't make money, why can't you put that money somewhere where it saves you money and then pay your bills from there? It's just another place to store your money. Does that make sense? Now, what if you have, like from the beginning of what I was talking about, what if you do this? Let's say you have $10,000 in the bank. Now I got $10,000 in the bank. All right. And I love having it there because that's my safety net. But I have that $10,000 on my credit card right here. Could I take the $10,000 out of my bank? Dun, da, da, da. Can I take my $10,000 out of my bank and pay off this credit card to zero? Now I know that's that feeling, because we deal with it every day. We're just not used to it. All right. But is the money fungible? Can I still spend it from the credit card if I have an emergency? I can take my $10,000 emergency fund and pay off my credit card to zero. Could I do that? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Okay. Put it in the chat. All right. Yes or no? Can I pay that off? Yes. Now,
Yes.
Thank you. Now, once I pay that off, guess what? I can now pay my bills. Uh-oh. What kind of credit card? If I have a zero balance, I can still use the same process, but I just don't have a balance. So I have to spend the money first. So I'm going to pay all of my bills. I'm going to pay all of my bills on the credit card. What type of credit card do I want to use when I'm paying my bills and I don't owe anybody anything? What kind of card do I want to use? A rewards card, one with points. Here they come. Eric, you know all the answers. A rewards card, ladies and gentlemen. So we have taken, oh Lord have mercy, I can't stand it. Listen, I got to get some sound over here. Wait a minute. All right. Listen, we have taken a situation where they're charging us every month to a credit card situation where they're paying me every doggone month. What? Yes. So how do I do that? I put $2,500 worth of bills on my card. Okay. Which means what? The $2,500 that was deposited in my bank along with my other income, for the month, $2,500 of that I would have spent out of the checking account. So instead of that, I can take now, I got $2,500 over here that I've just spent. I got $2,500 over in the bank that I haven't spent. Does that give me a total of $5,000 I can play with, at least for a time? Come on. That gives me a $5,000 I can play with. Okay. So now how do I play with that? So when it comes time to pay the bill, the $2,500 I would have spent on the bills is still in my bank account. So I can take that money out of the bank account, pay off the card back to zero. How much interest did I pay that month? How much interest? It's a 15% credit card. They gave me a bill for $2,500. All right. And I took my $2,500 I would have spent on bills anyway, and I took that money and paid the credit card to zero. How much interest did I pay that month, ladies and gentlemen? Do the math. It's simple. Priscilla says zero. Darlene says zero. I can't fool y'all no more. Oh my goodness. $0 in interest. Now, if I have a rewards card, what just happened? I got my rewards for, put it in the chat. What's the word I'm looking for? I got my rewards for what? Come on, put it in there. Talk to me. Free. There it is. Free 99. Free 99. Plus, they paid me to use their doggone credit card after I've been paying them forever. Folks, do you want to be in a position where the credit card company pays you instead of you paying them? Do you know I run my whole business on credit cards? And because I run my whole business on credit cards, I have nearly 1 million points that I can use to fly around the world. And I use points, and I fly first class because I use points. Now, let me show. Can I talk to you about that for a little bit? Can I talk to you just a little bit about how to build that up and why it makes sense? I use that to buy my airline tickets. All right, using points to do that. Now, what's happening when I do that? If I use the American Express Platinum business card, okay, I can figure out, they tell me how much, when I buy the ticket, they're telling me how many points I used. So I can easily do the math. This is, these points I used to buy the ticket is worth this much in dollars and cents. These points are worth dollars. Okay, because what's the word I'm looking for? The points I'm using to buy the ticket and the money I would use, what's the word I'm looking for? What are they? Are they fungible? Keisha's on it. Keisha says, those points are fungible because I can use the points or I could use dollars. Now, what if now I can use, because I use I use the credit card on Amex's site to book the ticket, I get 35% of those points back. When I do the math, I'm flying first class, when I do the math and get those points back, now my ticket is much cheaper. And when I do the math on how much money it would have cost me, now I'm flying first class for what it would cost me to fly coach or next to coach. What's next to coach between coach and first class? So listen, if I use these systems, you say what now? Go ahead.
Business class.
Business class. All right. So yeah. So listen, I can fly first class for what I could fly either coach or what is the next one up with just the wider seats. It's not business class yet, but the next one up. They have a little wider seat, but there's still 3 seats across. But anyway, for whatever I could pay for that, all right, I'm flying first class. When I deduct the 35%, it's still like dollars. It's still like dollars. Comfort, that's it. Comfort plus or economy plus. All right. I got first class, I got business class, I got economy plus, I got comfort plus. So I got comfort. So I can fly first class for comfort dollars. Oh my goodness. Because I use my credit cards for my business and they're paying me fungible dollars. Okay. She says, I only fly Southwest, LOL. Listen, I get it. But listen, there's still a way for you to benefit. There's still a way because look at all the benefits you get from Southwest. And I don't know Southwest. Find out what the benefits are and see how you can use a system like this so that you can get more out of Southwest because you're using your credit cards as fungible dollars. All right. So now, if you want to talk to me about how your situation may be a little different, here's what you could do. You can go to, I'm going to put it at the top of the page, pillmethod.com. All right. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go to ice10k.com. Let's put that at the top of the page, ice10k.com, and pin the link, ice10k.com. There you go. If you want to know, ladies and gentlemen, how you can take this idea and pay off your debt faster and cheaper, all right? Now, this is what's called interest cancellation, okay? Interest cancellation. But did you know there was an optimized interest cancellation? Good morning, Sharon M. Jones from Pulaski, Tennessee. All right. So did you know that you can optimize your interest savings? What does that mean? We just talked about how you can save some interest, maybe even a lot of interest. But would you like to know how you can save the maximum amount of interest you possibly can? All right. So I got some other comments here. Says Miss Vicky Ann says their points never expire. All right. She says, okay. Be sure to sign up for their membership. Oh, you mean all right. So let's see here. I've got who else is in here in my room that needs to come up to the stage? All right, let me see. Oh, my thing is stuck. Okay, let me go. Here. All right. All right. Does anybody else raise your hand? Come to the stage. All right. Raise your hand and come to the stage. Okay. All right. So, what? Okay, where was I? I get lost easy. I was talking about how you can optimize. All right, bring her up. You can optimize your interest savings. Let me give you an example of this. You want to go to be able to see this. All right, to be able to see my screen, you want to go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. All right, go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method on another device. All right. So you may have another phone, a laptop, or maybe even a tablet, and search for YouTube. Go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method, and you'll be able to see our live show. Kurt is going to give me the link in just a second. Give me a link so that I can put the link in there for you all, that if you want to see it, get there faster, you can copy and paste it. All right. So now I'm going to get that link for you. But if you want to see what I'm getting ready to put on the screen, that is what we're talking about. So I'm going to go to action plan. All right. This is my program here. I'm going to see if it's still running. I may have to reboot it. Oh, it's still running. Okay. So now let me see. All right. Let me see here. We have $10,000 on a credit card. No, I got more than that. All right. On my credit card, on this one, I owe $12,000 at 21%. $12,000 at 21%. Okay. And all right, let me go to my private chat over here so I can get this link for you guys. All right. So copy the link. All right. And paste it over here for you guys on Clubhouse. Copy. All right. Come on. Let me copy it now. All right. Copy link. Save link. Copy link address. There we go. There we go. Got it. It won't paste. What's going on? I'm trying to get it to copy and paste. If somebody else sees it, I'm having trouble with my copy and paste right now. Copy the link. Copy link address. Let me see if I can try it this way, because I want you guys to be able to see this.
We put the YouTube link in the chat on Clubhouse.
You did?
I sent it to your phone as well, Don.
Thank you very much. All right. It's in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for helping me. So I got now I need you to see how we can optimize this. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that you can see how you can save even more interest than trying this on your own when you have an AI system that helps you to do the math and says, this is how much you want to pay. Now, when it comes to optimizing your interest savings, you want to pay the right amount in the right month on the right day of the month. Somebody asked me the right day, and it does matter. But for me to tell you it's going to be a Thursday or Friday or a Saturday or the 15th or the 17th or the 20th of the month, I can't do that, because that optimization constantly changes. When you change any of the parameters, the optimization timing, the optimization amount, the amount of interest you could save per dollar changes. And when I say optimized, I want to know, when I put that money on that debt, how much interest am I saving per dollar? You want to save them. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck. So here's the situation where we're starting out in June. Okay. We're starting out in June, and we have with John and Rebecca Jones, and they're paying their bills. All right. So we got $950 John is making here. We tell the program we're going to execute that. All right. And he got his income in. All right. And we execute that. And he's got a mortgage here. He's got his utilities here. We've got all of that going on. Okay. And then, do you see these little arrows here? It says suggested strategic accumulation transfer. What does that mean? We're putting money aside. This is money you don't need for anything else of all your bills. You're setting that aside. And at a certain time, you're going to take that money out to pay to put on your loans. Okay. You're going to put that on your loans. So here we've got $150 that's going to the phone bill. We got another paycheck for $700. And then we've got, here's another amount that we could set aside, $308.49. Not a penny more, not a penny less. If we know exactly how much money we're spending, And that takes care of all of our bills, including our long-term savings. We've taken care of all of our bills. And now we know exactly how much money is left over. It's called discretionary spending. Discretionary spending. We're putting that away. All right. And then we just make minimum payments on everything until the program says to put it on the debt. So now we're starting out on June 1st. The program is predicting that John and Rebecca on July 17 can put $2,228 on their debt. So let's take a look at that. So,
hey, Don,
yes.
Just letting you know, Ruben's got a couple of questions online. I don't know if you've been tracking with him or not.
Oh, okay.
Ruben, maybe when you finish up, but I just wanted to let you know you had some questions online.
Thank you. When I finish this example, we're going to get to the questions. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate it. So we're looking at paying the bills, and each time I pay a bill, I tell the program I did that by clicking execute. Every time I receive income, I will tell the program by clicking execute. All right. And this would begin to disappear, but the program will eventually tell me, take money out of savings, $2,227.59, and put that on the Visa card. When I do that, I want to show you something. Let me make this a little bigger. Here are my interest savings. Now, Visa wants me to pay them minimum payments because they love that, because they get to make more money. But if I can save up of my discretionary funds that I don't need for anything else, put it in that bank account and pull out $2,227.59. And I mean that, no more than that, because it would be really easy to round this up to the next dollar or round this up to $2,230. Don't do that. This is an optimized amount, and we can figure out how much interest we're saving per dollar. If I put any more money on than this, the amount of interest I could save per dollar starts to go down, just like that. So if I do this, I can save $5,246 in interest I never have to pay. In other words, if I paid this card down by $2,200 by giving them minimum payments, I will also have to give them $5,246 in interest. But by using a system whereby I pay all of my bills, we have enough money to have some fun, and take care of everything. And then at the end of the month, I know how much money I didn't have to spend. That goes into savings. That goes into my account to kill debt. And the program tells you how long to keep it there and when to take it out to apply this to the debt. Now I'm saving $5,246 in interest that I don't have to pay because I'm putting $2,200 on the debt out of my savings. Now, here's what I need to ask you, everybody listening. When is the last time you got all of your money in from your jobs or your business? You put in to your budget how much money you want to have for spend on you and your family to create memories, have some fun, put money away for savings, pay minimum on the debt, and pay the rest of your bills, and then take the rest of the money and put it in savings. When's the last time you took $2,000 out just because it was there and put it on a credit card? When's the last time that happened? Keisha said never. But when you have a system like this, that's going to save you the optimum amount of interest. So when we do that, listen, what's going to happen the next time in 2 or 3 months when John and Rebecca Jones are able to save up more money in their savings account and still have plenty of money? Now, when they pay that, guess what? They're still going to have $5,000 in savings because they told the program, I want to keep $5,000 in savings. Well, actually, it's $4,700. Okay. So when we go here, let me show you something here. When we go into settings and we look at preferences, we can see how much they want to keep in savings. So they've told the program, I want to keep $4,700 cash just because. All right. Everybody needs to have a little bit of cash. All right. But we put most of that money on the credit card to pay it off. Boom. Pay that thing down. So even though they don't leave themselves cashless, you don't want to do this and leave yourself with no cash. You save a certain percentage of cash. The rest of the money goes on the credit cards. Okay. So now I'm going to handle some of these questions online. So Ruben here. Let me go back up. Let's start with Mr. McClendon. All right. Mr. McClendon says, good morning. Without doing a cash advance, how can you pay your mortgage, car payments, or other fixed expenses that don't allow credit card payments? You can't. So, Ruben, you came in late, but listen to the beginning because we do cover that. You're not using this system to pay your rent or your mortgage or car payments. Okay, so these are bills other than loan payments. Okay, these are bills other than loan payments. Okay, all right. Thank you for that question. All right, because I'm sure if you're asking it, somebody else is asking it, Mr. McClendon. Then I want to thank you for asking that question. Ruben comes in and says, if I structure all of my debt into a debt roll up, $499,000, including $380 mortgage, can I pay everything off? I can pay everything off in 17 years. Yes. If you use a debt roll up system, okay. But do you want to see the problem with the debt roll up system, Ruben? Here is the problem with the debt roll up system. Okay. Let me show you something. All right. So in my program, I've got a credit card. Okay. I've got a credit card. I've got an auto loan, and I have a mortgage at $200,000 at $6%. That's what I have. All right. So, Ruben, if the program is saying attack this credit card, let's say we're attacking that credit card and we're putting over $2,000 on it every time we do that, it's not going to take us very long to pay off a $12,000 card, is it? It's not going to take us very long at all. So according to the debt roll-up system, Ruben, out of the loans that I have here, which one should we attack next? The mortgage or the auto loan? Mortgage or auto loan, according to debt roll-up. Okay, you're welcome, Mr. McClendon. If I pay off the credit card according to debt roll-up, or it's called the snowball system, which one should I attack next? The car or the mortgage if I pay off the credit card? All right. Keisha says the auto loan. All right. The auto loan, because it's the next biggest. That's what the debt roll up or your debt snowball says to do. Now, if I take my program here, watch this. I tell my program, I'm going to be out of debt. Instead of 15 years, Ruben, I'm going to be out of debt in 8.2. Why? Because I'm going to save $195,822 of optimized interest. Because I save $195,822 in optimized interest, that means more of my money goes to principal, and I can get out of debt in 8.2 years on the mortgage, the car, and the credit card. Total 8.2. All right. Ruben says, according to debt roll up, auto loan. Now watch this. I'm going to go into settings. That's a very good question, though. I'm going to go into settings. All right. I may have to, let me see here. I may have to get out of here and let me see here. Action plan. There we go. and settings. And now we're going to go into preferences, okay? We'll go into preferences. When I go into preferences, you need to see this. I'm going to go all the way over to the left and click on Program Focus Settings. Program Focus Settings. I need to, let me make this bigger so everybody can read it, okay? When the focus is set to automatic, the program will automatically optimize the order you pay off debts to become debt-free. When you change the focus setting, however, this could have a negative impact on your overall results. It doesn't mean you will, but you could have a negative impact. So the program says, I want to be set to automatic so the program can choose which debt to attack and with how much money. Okay, so let's override the program. I'm going to override the program and say, I'm going to take, if we're starting out with the Visa, but what if I paid the Visa off and now I want to focus on the auto loan? I want to focus on the auto loan next. Okay, so we're going to focus on the auto loan, do that, and everything is going to update. Everything updates. Okay, so now it's going to take me 8.3 years to get out of debt, and my interest savings of 191,201. Let's go back. Okay, 191,201. We're going to go back to auto. All right. So, do you see? I can save it. I can save on my interest 195,822. But when I change it to I want to focus on the auto loan, the amount of interest I can save goes down to 191,000. Almost, it cost me about $4,000 in interest to pay off the car early. How about that? How about that? Okay. Somebody says, can I drop the link again, please? All right. Let's put it in. Can we put that? Somebody's asking for the link to put in the chat. Well, you want to share it with somebody else? That would be good. All right. So now why is that? All right. So let me put this down here. All right. Great. So let's go ahead and go back to accounts. I want to show you something. If I choose to pay off the car early, like 2 years early, it's going to cost me $4,000 in interest. Why is that? I can go to the auto loan. I can click on where it says history, and I need to show you how much is my interest payment per month on this. $833, $83.33. $83.33. If I start attacking this loan, I don't have to pay those $80 interest payments. I start saving money right away. And $80 is nothing to sneeze at, folks. I mean, if I can save $80, but to save this $83, I would have to prepay exactly $377.08 to save $83.33 in interest. Okay? It's the interest that causes the problem. But by using the debt roll-up system, okay, by using that, let me back out of this, okay? I'm going to go back to accounts, and let's take a look at the mortgage. $83 I'm saving on the auto loan, and I'm going to be focusing on the auto loan. Instead of paying off in 5 years, I'm going to pay it off in 2. All right. But if I do that, I'm paying, look at the amount of interest I'm paying on the mortgage. Let's blow that up. $1,000 in interest on the mortgage. $1,000, and it goes down from there. While I am attacking a loan that's costing me only $80 a month, and it goes down from there, I'm totally ignoring the loan that's costing me $1,000 a month, $999 a month. Then the next month is $998, and then it's $997. Do you see where we're going from? If you use the debt roll-up system, it doesn't take into account how much interest you are paying. So our program isn't set to pay off loans fast. It's set to pay them off cheap. So that's the answer to that question. You want to take that into account. Okay? All right. Joan Hill. All right, so let's go back to the next question. I'm going to go over here to Clubhouse and take a look at my questions over here. Let's see. Delta, okay. That's about
Hey,
notes.
Don,
Yes.
one quick point of clarification. So I think you may have mentioned a website earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not certain which website, if it was the P.I.L.L method or if it was ice10k.com.
Yeah.
But they just want you to reiterate that. I put both links in the chat.
Okay.
But I think the real question is, how do we get to the site that you're on? And I think you'll probably have to explain that. That's not something that they can just go to.
Oh, you can't go here. This is my program. All right. You have to be a member of the P.I.L.L method program to be on this site. Okay. This is not free. This is not free. This is my program. All right. This is what we offer to individuals.
So I know Joan and I believe it was Udim were both asking about the website.
Yes.
And I just wanted to make sure. I don't know if that was what they were asking about, or maybe they want a savings and earnings report,
right,
or maybe they just want to get in touch with you. I'm not certain, but
okay.
If you guys could just clarify in the chat, then we'll be able to respond. I put some of the links there, but just wanted to get that in there. Thanks, Don.
Thank you. So if you're trying to get to this site, if you Google search P.I.L.L method, you will see that there is a P.I.L.L method login. And then we have to make sure that you can get login credentials. If it is a paid service. It is a paid service. All right. Joan Hill says, thank you. That's what she was at. Ooh, Alexa, I was asking for the ICE site. Okay. Oh, it's ice10k.com. ice10k.com. All right. So let's go back up to some of the other questions there. Let me see here. So let me see here. Ruben had a bunch of questions. If I use the P.I.L.L method for a mortgage, I can knock off another 5.66 years, paying off everything in less than 12 years. Most of my clients, Ruben, are done in 7 to 9 years. Some take a little bit longer, some a little shorter, but we do it by optimizing. See, here's what people are doing. This is not a spreadsheet. People are trying to figure out, I can put like $500 or $200 on my debt every month. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're seeing how much we're actually making and actually spending. And according to what your budget is actually doing that month, our program acts like financial GPS that says, because your electric bill was $50 more, we have to change what your next instructions are going to be, and it instantly changes everything. Okay, so that way we can always give you an optimized number and an optimized date to make the payments. All right, Ruben says, are you telling me that you're using your debt elimination method to pay off under 10 years? So yeah, you can pay off everything under 10 years. Most of our clients do that under 10 years. All right.
2 questions in the chat also.
Okay, go ahead. Bam, what are those questions?
So the first one was Miss Darlene. Said the extra $2,500 that you paid to the credit card company, did you direct them to put it all towards the principal? On what day would you pay that amount? That's the first question from Darlene. Okay,
the first question from Darlene is, if you're not using a system that tells you when to pay, then it's a guess. You just pay it when you can. All right. Now, here's what I would do. I would make the payment in such a way that it would allow me to keep my $2,500 on the credit card for as long as I can. That's the best advice I can give you if you're not using a system that prompts you when to pay. Okay. And what's the other question?
Yeah, Miss Vicky Ann, can you share the details, the dollar amount of membership?
It all depends. I've got clients who have like $80,000 in just student loan debt. And I have other clients with over $2 million worth of commercial properties. They don't pay the same thing. So what we do is a savings and earnings report, figure out when you can be debt free and how much interest you can save. And then we get a small percentage of the interest savings. So if you would like to see how that works, go to ice10k.com and get a savings and earnings report today. Okay, get a savings and earnings report. And I'll give you a couple of hints. When you're putting in your cell phone number to verify, because we have to keep robots out of the system, verifying your cell phone number, make sure there are no spaces. Go to ice10k.com and click on you get a savings and earnings report. Follow all of the directions, especially when you're putting in your cell phone number to verify. Once you click on verifying that cell phone number, then what's going to happen next is you're going to get a text from us and with a code. Take that code, put it back into the website, and then click on yes, I want to save, and that will let you into our financial form. Put all the things that we asked for, how much you owe, interest rates, minimum payments, income, all of those things we ask for. And once you put that in there, within 2 business days, somebody from the team will contact you to verify that information. Once it's verified, we can produce a savings and earnings report, and that will generate the fee for you. Now, a lot of our clients, if they have a mortgage, oh my goodness, we're saving them like over $150,000 to $200,000 in interest. We get a very small percentage of that, less than what it costs to refinance you. Okay, but you get to keep the program forever. It's a lifetime program. Okay, with customer service that's US based, with coaching that's US based. So all of these things and more come with the program, and we will price it according to your needs. There you go. All right. Any other questions?
Last question from the chat, and it's clear for now.
Yep.
Sean asks, how does the system react to new debt as you go along?
Okay. How does it react to new debt? It reacts very well because see, I actually added, let's see here. Let me go into accounts. All right, let's blow that up. That is a very good question, because for this example, it didn't start out with $12,000. If I go to the history, it started out with a $2,000 balance. Okay. So if I tell the program I'm going to, for a fence, I put $10,000 in for a fence. So let's go ahead and say, I'm going to take that out. All right. I'm going to delete that payment, that expense. So let's go ahead and delete it. Okay. So now I owe $2,000. I can get out of debt in 7.8 years. Okay. I can get out of debt in 7.8 years. But if I added that $10,000, it just took me a little over 8 years. So it reacts very well to new debt. If I wanted to buy a new car, I can just plug it in and see what the results would be. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So let me see here. We have my total debt. Let's see. Ruben totaling on the debt roll up. You still talk? Okay. All right. So I hope the answers I gave you on the debt roll up is what's going on with what we're doing here, Ruben. It is a totally different system where we take our program and then you plug in how much money you're spending, how much money you're making, and then the program will prompt you as to what to do and when. All right, Ruben, auto loan debt, auto loan, boom, boom, boom. And let me see what else I got here. Let's see, we've got, I put in the website, well, I can't remember. Okay, we answered that one. All right, I think I've answered all the questions. Drop the link again, please. All right, we got the website. ice10k.com. All right. I think we're all caught up. Anybody else have any other questions talking about credit cards on how to pay them off faster and cheaper? Pay them off faster and cheaper, credit cards. So let me go ahead.
I was wondering if we were to use the Brett Whistle amortization calculator for credit card debt, every time we make a payment, we would have to put that new balance in and get a new schedule. Is that right? Or does it not work that way?
Every single time. Every single time. If you use that, it will give you, you can get a good result with that. But if you are trying to get the best results, it takes a ton of math to come up with the exact right amount of money to put down at the right time and the right day of the month and the right month to save the maximum amount of interest. So we were talking about interest cancellation on one hand. We're also, Ms. Keisha, talking about optimized interest cancellation when you have an AI system that does all the math for you. But if you want to do it on your own, you can use Brett Whistle. How's that sound?
That's great. I just remember that when we were talking about mortgages, you're saying that we pay 360 loans as opposed to one because it changes every time we make a payment. So
exactly.
I was wondering if that applied there.
Oh, most definitely. All loans change because you pay interest on the balance that's left. You pay interest on the balance that's left. All right. And thank you very much for that question, Ms. Keisha. Anybody else have any questions? So about credit cards, let me dive in. Let me see if I'm gonna check all my notes that I put on for today for credit cards and make sure I have it. We talked about interest. We talked about interest cancellation. We talked about fungibility. So it is important to keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. When you're paying off credit cards, okay, I need you to focus in on this right now and hear me well. Here is a huge mistake people make when paying off credit cards. Are you ready to hear it? Put a number 9 in the chat if you're ready to hear it. People make a huge mistake when paying off their credit cards. Miss Vicky says 9. Who else says 9? Eric Toom says 9. Keisha says 9. Miss Priscilla says 9. How about online? Anybody online want to know? This is a huge mistake to stay away from when paying off your credit card. Horace Jennings says, great job, Don. Thank you, Horace. We appreciate you, man. He's even putting in a number 9. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you have heard? How many of you have heard that you should pay more than the minimum on your credit cards? How many of you have heard that? Okay, all of you have heard that. The problem is, if you have 5 credit cards, let's say you have 6 credit cards, do you know how many of you are trying to put more than the minimum on all 6? Or all 5 or all 4? Even if you have 2, you're trying to pay more than the minimum on 2 or more cards? Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. How many have ever played around with a magnifying glass? Okay. How many have played around with a magnifying glass? Okay. So have you ever done any wood burning with a magnifying glass? Wood burning on a magnifying glass. So what do you have to do? You have to focus that thing so that you get that pinpoint of light, and it gets so doggone hot that you can actually write your name in a piece of wood with a magnifying glass. You ever do that? I'm telling you, when you're getting out of debt, you want to be hyper focused. So how much heat would that magnifying glass create if that beam of light was as wide as I could make it? I couldn't do anything with that because I'm spreading myself too thin, trying to attack on too many fronts. Okay. If I take the amount of money that I have and I focus on one, I can do a ton of damage to that credit card if I focus on one. Well, Don, what if I focus on the wrong one? Because I don't have the system to figure out the right one. Doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. You're doing something. Okay? You are knocking out that debt. Do the best you can until you can do better. Okay? But if you want to know exactly what to do, then contact us. We will help you. But listen, don't take take your money. And here's what's happening with some people. They have no money left to do anything because they're putting more than the minimum on a lot of their debt, which leaves them cash poor. And you wonder why the debt is not going away. I'm taking all of my money and I'm doing what the experts say, and I'm putting more than the minimum on the debt, but it's not going anywhere. Why is it not going anywhere? Because you have it spread too thin. Focus on one, even if it's the wrong one, and knock it out. Does that make sense to you people? Does it make sense, everybody? Come on. Listen, we've been getting bad advice. I want to look.
Don.
Yes. Come on.
You might laugh out loud.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm not.
I was just telling my friend, I was like, I've been paying down this measly $6,000 for years, trying to pay more than the minimum. But I was thinking that I was being smart by paying it even twice a month.
Okay.
Is that worse than paying more than the minimum, or even worse than
paying? No. On what? What kind of debt is it?
So it's a credit card debt, and I pay it twice a month because my thought was that I could avoid the interest charge.
Well, I tell you, because you pay it twice a month, Keisha, you actually are lowering the average daily balance. It is saving you money by doing that. I can't tell you how much, but it is better than paying once a month.
Okay. So when they give you that statement and they tell you how much interest you'll pay if you pay the minimum over the life of the card versus paying a little bit more to knock it down in 3 years, how is that different than this system? Or like, what is the advantage of them telling you that?
Okay. Anytime the bank tells you anything.
Right. So I want you to explain it. Why would they tell me how to pay it off faster? I don't really believe them, but that's kind of what I've been doing. So you can explain that.
Now, the amount of money that they're telling you, do you feel as if you can afford that? If you want to pay it off as fast as they're saying.
Yes. For mine, it's usually only at like an extra $80 on the minimum.
Okay. And are you putting more than the minimum on different cards?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They're not telling you not to do that. Okay. We're going to pick one card. And what if you took all of that money that you had spread over all the other bills and concentrated on that one? Now you blow their numbers out of the water. Is that right, Keisha?
Yeah, I'm thinking if I just focused on one.
Yeah.
But, again, we taught to go to the highest interest card, the card that has the highest interest first. But I know you say look at the interest cost.
Yes, look at the highest interest cost, because the highest interest rate could have a low balance, which gives it a low interest cost. And a card that has a lower interest rate could have a higher balance, which gives you a higher interest cost. So if you have all that going on, ladies and gentlemen, it is tough to keep up with. It's tough to keep up with. So listen, let me talk to you about paying these credit cards off. Can I give you something that's simple, everybody? Because some people say, well, Don's just doing this so he can make money. Yeah, we make money for helping people. Listen, I'm not ashamed of that. Okay, because we save them a lot of money, and we get a small percentage of what we save people. But here's something you can do on your own with a pencil and paper. Are you ready to do something on your own with a pencil and paper? Here's what you could do. You need to track your spending. You need to track it. you need to know how much you make and how much you're spending. Do you know, we talk to people every week, and we ask them, how much are you making? They don't even know. Most of you that are listening to me, if I asked you right now, tell me exactly to the penny, how much did you get paid last week? Most of you could not tell me. They don't know. They don't know how much they're making. So how much do your bills add up to every month? Again, I don't know. So here's what you could do. Watch this. You're going to love this. It is easy as this. Know exactly how much you're making per month and write down how much you're spending of that money on your bills. Okay. And here's one thing you could add in so you don't feel as if I'm just working to pay bills. Your very first bill. Okay. Now, for those of you that tithe, okay, that tithe, then your first bill is the tithe. Okay. The first bill is the tithe. Then the second bill, and for those of you that don't tithe, then here's the next one down. All right. How much money do we want to spend on our families to create memories? Put yourself in the budget. Okay. Then the next thing you put in the budget is long-term savings. How much of your money goes to savings? Some of you have savings come out of your money before you even get it. Then that's taken care of. Okay. The next thing is making at least the minimum payments on your debt. Okay. Minimum payments only. Minimum payments only. Okay. On this, what I'm getting ready to teach you, minimum payments only. Then pay the rest of your bills, your streaming services, your telephone, your electricity, gasoline, food, all of these things. All right. How much are you spending on those things? And then you you can predict what your budget for food will be. You can predict what your budget for gasoline will be, and you can kind of count on that. Once you do that, you will be surprised at how much money is actually left over after just paying the bills and having a little bit of fun on top of it. Okay. When you see how much money is left over, I've had people come back to me and said they were so surprised. They have like $2,000 left over after the bills are paid, $1,000 after the bills are paid, $500 after the bills are paid, $700 after the bills are paid. Once you know how much that is, put that in your savings account. How much is left over? Put it in your savings account because you don't need it for anything else. Do you realize that money builds up so fast in 2 or 3 months? It would be easy to take out $1,000, $2,000, and some of you can even in 3 months can take out $3,000 and put it on one bill because you're tracking your expenses. You're tracking your income. Everything gets paid and you're able to enjoy yourself. And when you take that money out of the bank to put it on the bill, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Folks, does this make sense to you? Even if you're not working with the P.I.L.L method, even if your payments aren't exact, even if you're using monies that aren't exact amounts, do you see how that would be helpful? Because you're tracking. Now, we have learned that budget is a bad word. That's when I hear budget, it doesn't give me warm and fuzzies, but it should, because budget doesn't mean restrict your spending. Budget means track your spending. Does that make sense, people? I wish I had more people to come up to the stage and talk to me. Come on. Listen, I see some red tickets in the audience. Red tickets, please join you got 2 houses you can join. First one is the mortgage syndicate because we are using their platform today. They are open from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. The P.I.L.L method joins the mortgage syndicate on Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30. 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 to 10:30 Central time. But follow your moderators, the people that are on the stage, and go to Mortgage Syndicate at the top of the page and click on it and join the waiting room. Do the same for the P.I.L.L method. You would just click on my avatar here on stage, top left, go all the way down, and then find P.I.L.L method and join that room as well. So anytime we're open, we're going to be giving you some good information. For some of you that came in late, I'm going to talk to you about Wednesday's show. If you have a high interest rate on a car, if you know anybody who has a high interest rate on a car, you don't want to miss Wednesday's show. Okay? I'm going to tell you how to pay that thing off fast and easy, even though it has a high interest rate, like 15%, like 20%, like 25%. I'm going to show you how to do that on Wednesday without having to refinance it. Oh my goodness. You are going to love it. So make sure you're here on Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, on Clubhouse, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And if you can't make it live, make sure you catch the replay because it stays up forever. All right. That will be, man, that will be show 252. That would be episode 252. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm not done. I'm not done with this whole idea of how we've been taught to handle the debt. We've talked about making sure that you have a budget so that you can know how much discretionary income you have to attack the debt. When you attack the debt with discretionary income, ladies and gentlemen, it feels much better than being told this. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You got to cut up your credit cards. You have to eat beans and rice. You have to drive a 30-year-old car. You got to do all these things so you can take all that money and put it towards the debt every single month. And you got to grind it out, okay, until you're out of debt. Or you can do what John and Rebecca Jones here are doing, pay all of their bills every month, take what's left over, okay, I'll put $100 in savings, put $389 in savings, put $550 in savings, and look how much they get to spend every month on their let me see here. Let me put this up. I'm going to increase this so you can see this. How much are they spending every month on their unitemized budget? That means this money they can spend any way they want. Look at that. Oh, $1,300 and still get out of debt in 7.8 years, still saving $177,000 in interest. Don't you just love it? And it feels so good. So, Miss Brenda, are you with us? That's Brenda. She could be busy. But anyway, so listen, I have people tell me all the time when they use a system like this, what happens?
No, I'm here.
Miss Brenda, how are you doing? People tell me all the time when they use a go ahead. She's got to turn her volume down. She's watching me on YouTube.
I'm doing great.
Thank you. She's got to turn the volume down on your computer.
Okay, done.
Okay, good. So now you've said before that you're a P.I.L.L method client, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and you've been paying down your debt.
That's correct.
Okay, can you give us an example of what's going on with you?
Well, since I got into the program, my rental property is paid off. And I think that was 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years. It's paid off. Started at 78,000 and now down to zero. I also dropped it.
Okay, now while you were doing that, were you restricted? You couldn't go on vacation. You couldn't go out to dinner while you were doing that.
No, no. I took vacations, went out to dinner, even carried people out to dinner.
What?
And paid it forward. You know, like someone behind you or someone in tow line, you pay the people behind you. You got extra cash. So just pay it forward.
Wow. So, okay. So when you did that, it drained your savings account down to zero to be able to do that, correct?
No.
What?
You're gonna have money. You don't go to zero because the system don't always keep money there. Like you said before, you go in and you tell the system, I don't want to spend, I want $5,000 or $3,000 in my account at all times. It's been down to that. Other than that, you still got that money in there.
Okay. Let me ask you this now. When it came time to put money on the debt, give us an example. You don't have to be exact, but what kind of money are you putting on debt? Like $100 or $200 when the program talks to you?
No, the program I have put up to $3,000 or $4,000 on the loan. What was on my house, on my rental property. It go up to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever discretionary money you have left over. The system automatically put it there, and when it's time to pay it, it'll let you know when time to pay it. Other than you pay your monthly statement every month, and then the system with the program will tell you when the next time to put money on the account.
Are you putting that money out of the savings? Are you putting it on the debt every month?
No, not every month. Sometimes you can, and it depends on the income, the money you put in, and the system know what you're putting in. Sometimes you might not have as much coming in, or you have a short week, or you're on vacation, or whatever, and the system will let you know what monies to put on. And it might not be every month; it might be every other month, and then sometimes it might be every month. It's the monies that you put in.
All right. So here's
the system
another.
will automatically recount it for you.
Thank you so much. So here's another question for you. When you were putting that $3,000 or $4,000 on that rental property, did that stress you out? I mean, did it feel like it was hard to do?
At first, because I wasn't used to it, I said, "Oh, they're taking all my money. What is he thinking about?" I said, "I done got into the wrong." Then I said, "Oh, shoot! Look at this. This is awesome, awesome." When you start seeing it come down, and when you start seeing that the interest that you pay, like for that much, you don't wait and pay it for the next month. You just pay it. You pay it for 3 or 4 months down the road, or 6 months. It's awesome just to see it come down.
So did you have credit cards in with the other debt that you had? Did you have any credit
I
cards?
did credit cards,
What happened to the credit cards?
everything. All my payments was on that. I was it paid off all my cards. It
What?
paid off everything. It
What?
paid off everything. And then some months it tell you, you'll pay the minimum amount on this one, or a little bit more on that one. And then the next month it say, let's just wipe it out. Well, it don't say that, but that's what it does. It say, go pay the whole thing. I'm saying that it didn't say that. The system don't say that. You'll say that. You say, when you look at it, you look at it and say, oh, this month they said pay the whole bill, debt free. That one wiped out. Then we go to the next, but you pay all the bills at the same time, and the program tell you what bills to pay, when to pay them, what time to pay them, and how much to pay. It is truly awesome. It's just like a well-oiled machine.
And
Running
you
smoothly.
and you had money in the bank the whole time.
Sure. You
Boy.
never go to zero. You never go to 100. You always have more money than you thought you got to have. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I don't make enough money to do that. You don't know how much you make um until you put it all down and do like the program say. You'll see how much money you have left over. You didn't ever think that you have that kind of money because you think you don't make that much. But it does. But it'll do it. I just couldn't believe it. It's awesome. It's truly awesome.
So one last question. When you bought this program, did we say, see you later, you're on your own? Is that what happened?
No. You say you in there for life, and then your team You can always call the team. The team is always there to help you. They understand that you're a new client to them. They understand that, and they patient with you and everything. And they know their business. I mean, they on point with what they're doing. No, they don't. They always there for you.
So when you called during work hours, did you ever get a recording?
No.
Somebody always answered the phone.
Someone always answered the phone.
And were they in this and were they in this country?
No, tell the truth. I don't know where they were.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I don't know, because
they were in.
Talk to them, you don't. Go ahead.
Yeah, they were in this country. That office, our customer service office, is in Salt Lake City, ladies and gentlemen. It's not halfway around the world.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
What would you,
that one, but yeah.
Miss Brenda? What would you tell the folks today? I mean, just give me. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. You just tell me what you want and what you want other folks to know.
Well, I was listening at the program. See, I got you on my computer and my phone. That's why I couldn't get to you. I had to switch back over, cut this one down because I couldn't see the screen. But the program is great. And I'm a firm believer. And I notice everybody's asking questions because, first of all, we have to change the way we think about our bills and what we've been told. Just forget that. That's old. That's old. We got some new things that's coming in that's more updated, I'm gonna call it, but paying your bills, it's a new way. And like Don said, you don't have to eat oodle noodles or whatever they call them, Roma noodles. You don't have to eat them. You don't have to drive a 50-year-old car. I drive a Mercedes.
Lord have mercy.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't, but yeah. Drive Mercedes, live in a 5-year-old, bought my house at 18, got on the program after that, and it's been smooth sailing. And if anybody's questioning that, just try it. Just try it. I'll say, just try it. It is awesome, because I was skeptical at first, but since I've been on the program, I don't want to be nowhere else.
Listen, I'm gonna. I did say I wasn't going to ask you any more questions, but I did. Yes, I do have to ask this. I do have to ask this. How did you first find out about us?
On Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse. So, of all the things you've heard on Clubhouse or maybe interacted with, how would you rate this company against anything else you've seen or touched on Clubhouse?
On a scale from Don?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay. Yeah. I rate it as a 10.
Okay.
A 10.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
You explained everything, methodical. So you can't go wrong. And you in the program for a lifetime. That's another good thing. I land my plane.
Thank you so very much for your time and attention. So, folks, listen. We've got so much content to give to you, but if we can't do anything else for you today, this whole system is set up so that if you have loans, you pay way more interest than you need to. It's not about how fast to pay off the debt that matters. It's how cheaply you can pay off the debt by moving the right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month, attacking the right loan. So if we've given you some good information about credit cards today, okay, go ahead, put some fire emojis in the chat or something. Put something in there. Put something in there in the chat that says you've received some good information about this. And listen, I need you to share this with everybody. I need you to share this with the folks. Share this with people. Thank you, Miss Priscilla. Thank you, Vicki Ann. Thank you, Bam. Thank you, Angie Phillips. Thank you, Keisha. Oh my goodness. Thank you, everybody. Iris Johnson, Allison Burrell, Keisha. Listen, thank you so very much. Because listen, you are helping people. All right. So I need you all to, I said, there is a before we end, I need you, if you have student loans, I need you to go to the government website that talks about student loans. Let me see if I can find my links here so I can put them in very quickly before we end the show today. All right? Because that was a hot show on Friday. Make sure you listen to Friday's show. All right? So let me see if I can get to my links from Friday. And let me see here. I'll pay up the debt. Student loans podcast. Okay. So here it is. We're going to put this in the chat. All right. Copy. Here it is in the chat. Post it. Okay. There it is. Boom. And in the chat. Okay. I'm putting it in the chat right now. There it is. This particular program was announced at the same time President Biden talked about you can get that one-time savings, but Congress blocked it. He talked about the IDR program, okay? It is income-driven repayment program, and the acronym spells SAVE. This is the SAVE program. Let me tell you just a little bit about it. I've got 7 minutes left of your time. Is that okay? If you want to know about how you can knock out your student loans still, put a number 9 in the chat. If you don't want to know, I'll just keep going. I'll just end the show. But number 9 in the chat if you want to know how to deal with these student loans. Okay? All right. There it is. Here they come. Okay. So here's how the SAVE program works in a nutshell. All right. I need you to go to that link and make sure you apply right away. Some of you on this new plan are going to have your payments cut in half. I mean, just down to a little bit. Okay. Some of you are going to have your payments cut in half. If you make your payment on your student loans for 20 years, the rest of your debt is forgiven. Boom, done. Okay, that's point number 1. If you have a income-based payment that is so low that doesn't cover your interest, do you know that they used to take that interest that was unpaid and added it to your loan? That's gone forever now. Okay, they cannot capitalize unpaid interest anymore. That's done. So some of you have student loans, and paid faithfully every year, and your loans are actually more now than when you started paying because of what they call capitalization. They were taking unpaid interest and adding it to your loan. No more. That's done. All right. So some of you, now get this, some of you will qualify for 0 payments. $0. $0. Some of you qualify that. You know what? I should have put that on the screen. I'm sorry. Let me put that on the screen as well. Boy, I tell you, you are on it, brother. You are on this thing. All right. IDR. All right. Income driven repayment plan. So what you could do, ladies and gentlemen, is that so you could qualify for 0 payments. And guess what? If you qualify for 0 payments for the next 20 years, your loans are forgiven. What? Oh, yeah. You could qualify for 0 payments for 20 years and be done. Now, you have to check in every now and then. So if you start making more money, you may have to pay a little bit. But this system, you're going to have a way to get out of those student loans, and they're going to be able to forgive a lot more than the original program, which Biden, his efforts were blocked. Okay. Now, how can I trust this new system when I couldn't trust the old system because I applied? Okay. I applied for the old system. How can I trust the new system? The old system, President Biden did not have presidential authority to do what he did. So Congress stepped in and says no. With this new system, anytime since the Clinton administration, the president is legally I mean, it's by law, can develop a new income-driven repayment program anytime the president wants through his or her Department of Education, with no restriction by law. Nobody's going to stop this because it's written in law now. They have to change the law for him not to do this particular program. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for being here. Let's see. I've got a question. What if you are already on the public service loan program? So if you see, if you let me see. Let me put this in here for you. You want to go to let's see here. The fact sheet from the White House. Okay. Let me put that in. Copy. We're going to pass. The fact sheet from the White House is right here. Paste it in. There you go. And here it is as well. Fact sheet from the White House. If you go over this information, ladies and gentlemen, and click on the links, you will find out that some of these programs automatically become the SAVE program. Automatically. If yours does not, then you can apply. All right. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to be back here on Wednesday. Our last word is going to be from Dr. Eric Thomas, and then we're going to say goodbye to the people online. I'm going to come right back here on Clubhouse to say goodbye to all of you. But right now, let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas, and we say goodbye to everybody online. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, what happened? Something's going on. We're supposed to have our outro stuff.
Yeah, sorry, Don. The video wasn't playing. I'm gonna kick it off now. So this is the Eric Thomas video coming right now.
Thank you.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.